Is the Chiefs dynasty over? Let's talk about that. So a big thing that I've been hearing, and it makes a lot of sense. I think I've heard Colin Cowherd and even Nick Wright bring this up. Is that what makes most dynasties is incompetency? You need incompetency around you, so it makes it easier for you to make the run. What the Chiefs have done with for the last several years, and what New England did is their divisions have been pretty incompetent for the most part. The Chargers during Brandon Staley just couldn't get over themselves. The Raiders have been incompetent since since like the early 2000s. Like, I mean, they just have been really, come on. And Denver wasn't competent until more recently with Sean Payton. And with New England, I mean, let's be honest, the Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins are three of the most incompetent teams until more recently for the Bills. But the other three teams were mostly incompetent for basically the entire time. The Patriots were good. And that's where a lot of people bring up is, well, getting that one seed or the two seed where you're basically at home almost the entire run makes life a whole lot easier than having to go to a Buffalo, a Baltimore, Cincinnati, a Houston, one of those other places that they might have to if they struggle a little bit in their division. I mean, this year the Chiefs have four teams, or four teams. They have all three of their division rivals are actually competitive this year and have a strong chance to possibly make the playoffs. I'm still not sold on the Raiders. I think there's too many holes on defense. But the Raiders do have one of the better coaches in the league in Pete Carroll now. Geno Smith is, again, a kind of a good game manager. But they also did just get one of the most electric running backs we've seen coming out of the draft in a long time in Ashton Jeanty. And I hope Jeanty performs well. I like Jeanty quite a bit. But they still are going to be competent and might take a game from the Chiefs, unlike usually when it's a guaranteed to wins for Kansas City. And then Denver, in my opinion, Denver might win this division. I have a hot take video coming out, and I'll get into that later. But Denver is honestly, in my opinion, a very solid team. Their defense has just gotten better. They were already the best defense in the league. They added Draywall and Ufanga, and now it's just their defense is going to be insane. And Bo Nix, if he continues taking the step forward with, I think, Sean Payton, is going to be a very possible thing. And I think they also got a decent running back in this draft. I don't remember, but I do remember them drafting somebody and somebody saying he's good. I don't remember who it is. I'll know soon enough. I don't watch enough Denver football, to be honest, to know that. And the Chargers, again, they still have Jim Harbaugh, who is, let's be honest, one of the better coaches in the league. When he's been in the league, he's just automatically started winning. He won a national championship before he got here, cheating, whatever. But he still is one of the better coaches in the league. So now all of a sudden you have three super competent head coaches along with Andy Reid in your division. You have at least two teams that I think are competing for a playoff spot, with the Raiders maybe on the outskirts looking in. So now your entire division is competent. Can the Kansas City Chiefs pull out and win the division, or win enough games to still manage one of the top two seeds? Because Buffalo and Baltimore's division, I think, are a lot easier. I think Baltimore's division might look hard on paper, but the Browns, and I think even the Bengals, are going to struggle this year because the Bengals defense is so bad. And I think Pittsburgh is going to be kind of that iffy area. It really depends on how much Aaron Rodgers performs. And I don't know if the Steelers are a great fit for Aaron Rodgers because of Mike Tomlin being a defensive guy and wants to run the ball. It's not going to work super well. I don't know if that's going to be a good combination. We'll see during the season. Buffalo, there's no team in that division that's really that threatening, to be honest. New England might take a big step forward, but it's iffy. And you know, the Jets, I mean, Justin Fields, maybe, but I doubt it. And the Dolphins are going to be around, kind of like the Steelers, around 500. So both of those teams are going to have a lot easier, in my opinion, division runs. Now, Baltimore does have a very tough schedule, and they might struggle a little bit throughout the beginning of it, but it doesn't fully matter if they're winning all 6 division games, or at least winning 5 of the 6 division games. And Kansas City might be going 3-3. They might even go under 500 depending on how things play out. I mean, Kansas City was winning a bunch of games by one score, and they managed to get that one seed. And it was huge because that one seed helped them get to the Super Bowl, get past Buffalo and whatnot. I think if they played that game in Buffalo, it might have been different. You never know. You know what I mean? So, like, I think all that put into place, I think it's going to create it to make it harder for Kansas City to repeat what they've been doing all this time. Because unlike Tom Brady, his division never really got good until he left. Then Buffalo became competent. And even Miami became somewhat competent, you know. And he went to another division that was just, it's still bad. It's still bad to this day. The NFC South is just a crapshoot of a division. That's why Baker Mayfield and the Bucs still win it every year, because guess what? They're the most competent overall team, and Tom Brady is a genius. I think he knew what he was doing when he did that, because guess what? It gave him more home field advantage, allowed him to, kind of get to the Super Bowl again without having to go on the road and beat some really good teams on the road. Plus, the NFC overall is just weaker than the AFC, especially at this point. The AFC is still very tough as well. The incompetency of the AFC is going down. Lamar Jackson has looked better these last few playoff runs, and I think he's super close to breaking through. Josh Allen could break through any year now. If Joe Burrow can just somehow win these games with that terrible defense, they're a threat in the playoffs. Houston, as long as CJ Stroud goes back to rookie year CJ Stroud, I think they're going to be a huge threat. And then, like I said, you have Denver and the Chargers, who are right there too. I mean, I think there is a very solid chance that the AFC could have 6 out of the 7 playoff seeds being teams that are legit threats, maybe even all 7, to be completely honest. It really depends on what Houston does and Cincinnati, in my opinion. But they have a really solid chance that 6 or all 7 playoff spots are a threat. And I think Kansas City is going to start struggling because these teams are building very smart. The Ravens have built a very good team, and realistically, cap-wise, they're not going to lose too much over the next couple of years. The way they've structured contracts has worked really well. Buffalo has also built a really good team around Josh Allen and has allowed that as well. Cincinnati's really the only team that hasn't been able to build a really solid team around their elite quarterback, and that is kind of what's costing Cincinnati a little bit. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Is the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty coming to an end, or are they going to just keep dominating? Is Mahomes and Andy Reid that good? They're just going to dominate through this no matter what. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next one.